That's probably what Eagles fans are going to do when Kevin Patullo is fired, but for the moment, they're going to have to deal with him because they got their biggest Monday Nighter in probably 2 years if you really think about it because, yeah, they can't be dropping this one. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy this Monday Nighter, as it is probably the biggest Monday Night Football matchup. No, that's not true. Last week was really important, again, with the Giants getting their heads blown out by the Patriots. Nothing more than that, though, right? Anyway, as you guys can see, it is a monster game, as the 8-4 Eagles and the 8-4 Chargers will be going at it. Both of these teams have kind of been going in opposite directions, or not opposite directions, not in the right direction for themselves past couple weeks. For the Eagles, they see themselves on a 2-game losing streak, as they have not won since that Sunday Nighter in Philly back in Week 11. As the past 2 games, they've seen themselves blow a 24-21 lead. 21-0 lead against the Cowboys. Ended up losing that game 24-21 in a game that technically could have given them a very good shot to winning the division. To last week, where they lost by 2 scores to a Bears squad that outrushed them by like over 200 yards. Maybe not that much, but they definitely outrushed them. I'll tell you that in that one, as they kind of got their souls taken away in that one. Nonetheless, though, for this Eagles squad, as you guys can see right here, they with the Cowboys loss have a chance with a win to be a full 3 games above them, technically, right? They're 2.5, and they'll be at 10. Yeah, they're in a good spot if they win this game. We'll put a 99% chance to make the playoffs. Again, right now they have a higher 2% chance. Oh, no, I guess they don't, but you get the point. The Eagles have a very good shot here, again, to get back on track. They've already been on a 2-game losing streak earlier in the season, back in weeks 5 and 6, and they ended up rattling off 4 straight after that, so this is definitely a good chance for them. But again, we look at this Eagles team, despite their defense really struggling last week, the biggest issues for them have been on the offensive side of the ball this season. Is really Jalen Hurts has not been an effective passer all season, and the running game has been a shell of what it was last season, to say the least, on top of an offensive line has had its worst year as a group since 2020. For the Chargers, though, again, after getting their absolute backs blown out by the Jags, no Diddy, back in Week 11, they rebounded nicely against the Raiders last week, winning 31-14, despite Justin Herbert injuring his thumb or finger, something like that, in that win. This Chargers team, prior to that, has definitely had a little bit of a weird season. As you guys can see here, they had previously won 3 straight behind a really solid defense. We'll see if that defense can come back this week and play better football, because they're going to need to do that in this one. Nonetheless, the Eagles had never played in SoFi against the Chargers. They have played they haven't played in 4 years. That was back in Philly back in 2021. That was when the Chargers again missed playoffs, as the Eagles made it that season. At that point, the Chargers ended up beating the Eagles 27-24 in one of the better games of the season. You guys see a highlight from that at the end of this. But yeah, that's what I have on that. This game is always from Monday Night Football, 8:15 on ESPN, ABC. You can stream it on the ESPN app as well as NFL Plus. But also, guys, wanted to mention this Fun Day Football. Again, it's Disney's kids version of the game. It's going to be Monsters Incorporated this year. That's going to be on ESPN 2, if I'm not mistaken. So go check that out. Should be pretty cool for the kids and all that. But other than that, guys, you guys can see the Chargers in the playoff picture right now. They are cemented in the 5 seed with a win that would go a long way into helping them make the playoffs. They already have the head-to-head over the Broncos. I'm not going to act like they're going to beat the Broncos for the division, but they do play the Broncos again, and if the Broncos slip up in Kansas City on Christmas, that could be an opportunity for the Chargers to win the division. They're definitely not out of it by any means, but this is obviously one of those games they're going to need to win to have a shot to be able to do that. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, we look at their roster. Jalen Hurts, again, is at quarterback. Saquon Barkley has not had the season he would have wanted to. At the moment, he's not in jeopardy of not running for 1,000 yards, but it doesn't look like he will be doing much more than that. Tank Bigsby at running back. A.J. Brown is coming off one of his better games of the season. Devontae Smith had a big game against the Chargers when they played back in 2021. Jahan Dotson also there at receiver. Dallas Goedert at tight end. For this offensive line, Lane Johnson is still out. Fred Johnson will continue to start for them. The rest of this offensive line has had their issues this season. For this defense, Jalen Carter's out after, again, not really playing well at all last week. Byron Young would probably start, the man out of Texas. Moro Ojomo has been pretty solid for them. Jordan Davis has been kind of up and down as a nose tackle this season. Off the edge, you guys know that Jalen Phillips and Nolan Smith are very, very good. They've kind of moved Jahad Gamble into sort of this hybrid role. Obviously not as a passer, but more of a guy that can kind of switch off with Jalen Phillips as more of a situational sort of thing. Obviously, Zach Bond and Kobe Dean probably coming off their worst combined game of the season, especially in terms of taking on blocks. The secondary was not too bad last week. They're obviously pretty good group. Jake Elliott and Braden Mann are a kicker and punter. Then when we move over to the Chargers and look what's going on with them, offensively, Justin Herbert's questionable with that thumb injury, right? left hand. I don't know. He broke it. There's something weird going on there. He should be able to play, though. Worst case, Trey Lance goes out there and throws 4 picks. Kamani Valdez running back. Again, he did break a record last week, or set something. Jared Patterson also there as well. At receiver, Lat McConkey scored last week. Glenn Johnson kind of fell off. Keenan Allen's like 100. Orlando Gadsden has also fallen off. Tyler Conklin's the backup tight end with Tucker Fisk out. Scott Malik is their fullback. See him a lot there in the run blocking there. And also this entire offensive line is healthy with Bobby Hart. Yes, you've heard of that guy at right tackle. For this defense, though, they're basically good to go. The only big concerns I have for them is a guy like Odeogba Agbonia won't be out there because he's been on air for a while. So honestly, they should be pretty good. But look out for R.J. Mickens at strong safety. Cameron Dickers, their kicker, as well as J.K. Scott at punter. Darius Davis is the returner, and Josh Harris is also their long snapper. This game, especially for me, is one of those that you can't really put anywhere except game of the week. I'd want to put it in must watch, but again, I think there's really 3 games that encapsulate this week's schedule. We already saw one. This one, again, I haven't seen, but you guys probably have. And then also we got the Eagles and Chargers for, again, this year. Again, I think it definitely deserves this recognition. Obviously, the Titans and Browns game. That's the best game all year. In terms of who I actually see winning this one, wrapping this thing up so you guys can go watch this thing, I'm going to say that the Eagles bounce back behind a solid, sustained offensive performance where they have a couple of really good drives. I expect Jalen Hurts to throw the ball, have a nice day passing in this game, and for an efficient day from Saquon Barkley for, again, what seems like to be the first time all season. I'm going to say the Eagles win this one 28-20, and what should be a pretty nice win for them. Again, I'm going to give them some benefit of the doubt with this one. But honestly, guys, who really knows what happened? We saw the Seahawks upset the Eagles back in Week 15 of 2023, and that obviously kind of put their season in a whirlwind. But that's all I have from you guys here. I hope you guys enjoyed this game. Go check out the Sunday recap that should be coming out sometime on tonight. But in that, I'll see you all for tomorrow for the recap of this thing. But yeah, just get ready for that Sunday thing. Anyways, though, again, we got a really big playoff thing going on right now.
Approaching the 6-minute mark of the 4th. Scott in the backfield. Hurts. Hooks a pass. Goes man, Devontae Smith. He's got the angle. Touchdown, Philadelphia. On the touchdown hookup.
Look at him staying there strong and confident. And we talked about the laser shot that Justin Herbert threw on a couple of occasions last drive.